the most fearsome alien mercenary. I warn you, never let a human cry. Commander Zarkoth had seen countless species across the galaxy break under pressure. The insectoid Varan would freeze in terror. The crystalline shell would shatter their cognitive matrices. The aquatic Dulmar would simply shut down. But never, never had he witnessed what happened when humans cried. He learned this lesson on Station Epsilon 7, in the most brutal way possible. Louis Chen sat in the interrogation cell, his wrists bound with quantum restraints that hummed with contained energy. Blood trickled from a cut above his eyebrow, and bruises were already forming on his ribs. Across from him, 3 Krathon soldiers, each standing nearly 8 feet tall with chitinous armor plating and 4 arms, loomed like living nightmares. "Where is the rest of your crew, human?" hissed Sergeant Vexlar, his mandibles clicking with impatience. Louis said nothing. His jaw was set, his brown eyes fixed on the wall behind his interrogators. "Answer." Vexlar struck him across the face with a secondary arm. Still, Louis remained silent. In the adjacent cell, separated only by a transparent barrier, Orla Mackenzie watched helplessly. The young engineer's green eyes were wide with horror as she witnessed her crewmates' torture. Her own restraints bit into her wrists as she struggled against them. "Stop it," she screamed, pounding against the barrier. "Leave him alone!" The Krathon ignored her completely. Commander Zarkoth observed from the control room, his 6 eyes tracking every detail. He had hired the Krathon mercenaries specifically for their reputation: efficient, ruthless, and thorough. These 2 humans had information about a weapon shipment, and he needed that information within the hour. "Increase pressure," he commanded through the comm. Vexlar smiled, a horrifying expression with his alien features, and activated a neural disruptor. Louis's body convulsed as electricity-like pain shot through his nervous system. His teeth clenched, muscles spasming, but he didn't scream. He wouldn't give them the satisfaction. When the torture stopped, Louis slumped forward, gasping. Sweat poured down his face. His vision blurred. Then he heard it, a sound that made his blood run cold. Orla was crying. Not just tears streaming down her face, but deep, racking sobs born from witnessing someone she cared about being destroyed piece by piece. Her shoulders shook. Her breath came in ragged gasps. "Please," she choked out between sobs. "Please stop. I'll tell you anything. Just don't hurt him anymore." Louis's head snapped up. Through his swollen eyes, he looked at Orla, really looked at her. Saw the tears, the anguish, the breaking point. And something inside him shifted. Zarkoth noticed it too. In all his years of intelligence work, he'd developed an instinct for when situations were about to change. The human's biometric readings were spiking. Heart rate, adrenaline, cortisol levels all climbing rapidly. But there was something else, something the sensors couldn't quite identify. "Vexlar," Zarkoth spoke into the comm urgently. "Cease immediately. Remove yourself from—" Too late. Louis stood up. The quantum restraints, designed to hold beings 3 times human strength, simply snapped. Not through brute force, but through something the Krathon had never encountered. The absolute refusal of a human body to accept limitations when someone they loved was crying. "You made her cry," Louis said quietly. His voice was different now, flat, cold, empty of everything except purpose. Vexlar reached for his weapon. He never touched it. Louis moved with speed that shouldn't have been possible for an injured human. His hand shot out, grabbed Vexlar's primary arm, and twisted. The sickening crack of chitin breaking echoed through the chamber. Before the other 2 Krathon could react, Louis had disarmed their sergeant and turned the plasma rifle on them. 2 shots. 2 bodies hitting the floor. Zarkoth watched in frozen horror as the human walked calmly to the control panel, a panel he shouldn't have known how to operate, and with methodical precision, began overriding every security protocol. The commander had studied 17 different species' psychology. He knew human anatomy, human limitations, human breaking points. He knew nothing about what humans became when they stopped being afraid and started being angry. The cell door opened. Louis walked to Orla's barrier and placed his hand on it. "Close your eyes," he told her gently. She did. What followed lasted exactly 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Zarkoth would remember every moment for the rest of his life. Louis moved through Station Epsilon 7's security wing like a force of nature. Precise, efficient, unstoppable. 16 more soldiers fell. Not through luck or chance, but through the cold mathematics of a human who had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. When Lewis reached the control room, Zarkoth did something he'd never done in 40 years of military service. He surrendered immediately. Why? The commander asked, his voice barely a whisper. Why are humans like this? Lewis, blood-covered and exhausted, looked at him with eyes that had gone somewhere dark and returned. Because you made her cry. You hurt me and that made her cry. He holstered the weapon. We're not built to be warriors, Commander. We're built to be protectors, and there's a difference you just learned. Later, aboard their rescue ship, Orla held an ice pack to Lewis's face. You didn't have to do all that, she said softly. Yes, Lewis replied. I did. Commander Zarkoth survived that day, but his reputation didn't. Across the mercenary networks, a new warning spread, a rule that superseded all others. Never let a human cry. Because the human who loves them will become something you cannot stop, cannot reason with, and cannot survive. The end.